Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name is Sean Bell. I'm joined by James Farley.
Hello.
And Matthew Murray.
Hello.
Dave's not here. He's watching the football. I gather it's a big deal.
He's at the football.
He's at the match. Football. The football.
Currently 0-0, so...
Half time, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think we'll be all right. I think it'd be nice to have a chill one after the shambles that was last week. And to, just a bit. Well, you know what I mean. It wasn't a shambles, but it was quite exhausting in a way.
It was, yeah. I had to have a big lie down after that.
But yeah, for those who missed it, I mean, shame on you if you did. But yeah, last week was episode 500. We did our greatest consoles of all time. I can't imagine there was much feedback about it, so we probably won't bring it up again. So we'll start the episode the way we normally do by thanking our Patreon producers for this month. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights are Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Smooth Monkey, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton, Stan, Philip with an F, Cutty, Steve Lee, Jack Oven, Grey Dragonclaw, Colin the Carwanker Smith, Lee Keybottom, My Dog Skip, Dean, Evil Mammal, Conky Donkers Full Nels Conga, Laser Quest, congratulations on 500 episodes, Adam Staff, 42 Sources Span, and James S, brought to you by Thomas Tom S, who apparently is returning Full Nels, Matt, is that?
Yeah, I mean, Tom S is very much a returning Full Nels, so yeah.
Lovely stuff. Oh, so that is Thomas Tom S, but with a but now James S.
Yes.
I'm confused now. I don't know what's happening.
Is
it
fine.
James or is it Tom?
Look, that's the name on Patreon. That's all we can go with.
Okay, fine. They all went to patreon.com/TCGS and pledged to keep this show going. But we haven't sorted. We need to sort out this month's Patreon stuff, don't we?
Yeah, we did a great talks over last month of the for the Patreon video show of the Xbox E3 2010 show, which was it was Sony, wasn't it? Was it Sony?
It was
Sony.
absolutely Sony.
Which was two and a bit hours, but it kind of honestly flew by. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a real slog. But it was right.
It didn't seem to drag that much like I feared it might do. It's just good to watch an old E3.
What was that game that we kept on seeing over it? Was it Tron?
Tron. They bloody loved Tron in 2010, apparently. Was that when Tron, the second, I can't remember what it was called now, the second Tron film came out? Was that around then?
I don't know. I mean, it must have been, yeah. But that was featured heavily.
Yeah. And I think we don't know when we're going to do it, but I think this month, are we set on doing the Generation game? I know Dave was well up for it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I think that is genuinely happening.
Yeah.
So
there's plenty out there to watch.
So if you want to watch an episode of the Generation game with 4 men who were there at the time, go to patreon.com.
I do remember watching Generation Game quite a lot with my parents when I was young, so yeah.
Yeah, same.
We're thinking presumably Bruce Forsyth.
That's what obviously. I thought, but I think Dave thought it might be funnier to do, what's his name?
I'm not sure it would.
Jim Davison?
Jim Davison.
I mean, how long are they? Can we not we can do one of each? Cram 2 in?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, we could do one of each.
We'll start with Forsyth. That'd be fine, James.
Maybe some big break after, you know.
Now we're talking.
If for some reason you skipped last week, you have missed your opportunity to get a ticket for our live show in October because it has fucking sold out, which is amazing. Cannot wait. I've started writing some things down.
Okay,
making
good.
Some notes.
Looking
forward to it.
That is handy. I should probably plan. I should probably start doing the same. I mean, I will do. Everyone who's bought tickets, do not worry. It's going to be a great show. But I'm saying I haven't
100%.
yet put pen to paper. But
it's
going to be banging.
Feedback.
Yes, let's just get into this. We, as well as this stuff here, there was also a lot of feedback on the Discord. We're not going to collate everything, but suffice to say, there was some choice words spoken about possibly one or two of the things I did, and others, not just me.
They loved it.
Yeah, so we'll start with Nathan. Just to say the 500 show was wonderful. I know the GOTY format encourages fun conflicts and disagreements, but here I felt it worked when you guys seemed to collectively abandon playing that trope because you love games so much. I'll try to read a bunch of these and we can all just...
going. Yeah. But thank you, Nick.
Jake Barlow, whenever it comes to these Gotti-esque shows, I'm always so genuinely excited to tuck in that I forget that the previous ones have always left me with a frazzled, frustrated, and parasocial energy where I'm left hurt and confused by some of the insane choices taken by a group of seemingly lovely men whom I listen to every week, who know nothing of my existence, yet I've apparently designed their biggest show of the year, specifically to wind me up. Despite David's undeniable main one energy, Matt and James melt like a dairy milk on a summer's day when your secret puppet master, disarmingly pleasant geek chic Sean Bell, yanks their strings, and David, forever the only voice of true reason on these shows, loses all influence for a few seconds at the crucial moments. Pouring one out for the N64, the PS2, the most tragic of Bell and Murray hit jobs, Red Dead Redemption 2. Seriously though, thanks for the entertainment. Coming to my first TCS live show on my own later this year, and I can't wait. All the best from Jake Barlow.
Oh, cheers, Jake. Is
Jake.
that true? I don't feel like I have any influence on these
Nah,
things.
it's just because people were sore about the N64 going out. That's the only reason. And for some reason, people got annoyed when we said whether something was like culturally relevant or not. Apparently,
That's true,
that doesn't matter.
Yeah. I wouldn't normally, bend my will or whatever the saying is. I normally dig in, but I thought I do it all the time and it will get boring. So I thought I had, at some point I had to just.
It's bad, isn't it? Yeah, you sort of you start thinking like, shall I just say something I don't actually mean because this is dragging on a bit now?
And I mean, if I want to be 100% me, I'll just never change my vote ever. But then that's not going to make for a very entertaining show if I'm like, well, Matt's never going to change. Yeah. Someone else, so that's why I did that. Anyway, Dark Souls for the PS2 has messaged Matt saying, I can't believe we didn't nominate the PS4. Then justifying that thought by mentioning Uncharted and The Last of Us, i.e. 2 PS3 games, is classic only started playing games 12 years ago behaviour, I'm sorry to say. Yeah, my, we'll get on to PS1 in my memory in a bit. Dave Chong, listening to all the talk about F360 brought back several fond memories. My mate Chris was the first one in our group to get the console along with a copy of Burnout Revenge. I went over to his house, we set it up, ready to be blown away by this bold new era of high-definition gaming, only to be underwhelmed by a game that looked a lot like the previous gen version, and neither of us wanting to admit it. Cue about half an hour of no, you can definitely see further out to the horizon, and I'm sure the trees look a bit sharper, and so on, as we convinced ourselves we were actually beholding the Sistine Chapel ceiling of racing games. It was about this point that I went to have another look on the console itself, and noticed the AV cable had an SD HD switch on the side. Needless to say, we were slightly more impressed with the actual 1080p Burnout, and in recent years we've always referred to this as our equivalent of Sean's R2D2 Red Dead Redemption. Fuck. Red. I read R2 and I just read R2D2. Sean, Red Dead Redemption 2 HDR moment. Anyway, huge congrats on reaching such a big milestone. James getting to 150 episodes. That's great. I mean, I'm sure we've had moments like that where you're like, I'm sure this is. I think it's definitely better. And then a cable wasn't plugged in or a setting was off.
Yeah. You just willing yourself to believe.
It happened a lot. Well, when PS5 came out and you can download, like a lot of people were accidentally downloading the PS4 versions of the PS5 games.
Yes.
Like, why is this doesn't quite look? Okay, right.
The PS3 literally just came with like an old phono cable, didn't it? It didn't even come with like the 5.
Didn't it have? Was it just composite or?
I think it was like a standard, like SD composite cable.
Yeah. So
there must have been so many people who were just like, well, I guess this is it. I guess I'll just plug this in and then, because not everyone's going to know like, oh, you need to go out and buy an HDMI lead or a the 5-plug composite one.
No way.
Plugging in their SCART lead.
Yeah.
It was
Great. I was like, this is great. It's definitely worth the money. 100% worth the money. Chief Billy, episode 500 was fantastic. It was interesting hearing Mr. Bell talk about the swap tool. We had a swap magic disc which had to be inserted into the PS2 first before holding down eject until it turned orange and shot the disc tray out super fast and only gave you a couple of seconds to swap the disc for the game you wanted before retracting again. The swap didn't always go smoothly. Side note, with the Saturn almost toppling the SNES in round 1, how close do we come to it winning outright considering the SNES's path to the final?
I don't think it would have won.
I don't think no.
No, I mean, I would have loved it to get through round 1, but I think that would have been like a token gesture, and in round 2 it would have been absolutely destroyed. But
yeah. The swap magic tech sounds interesting. So I assume I was just avoiding that by using the mad tool thing. Although I don't know which of us was like breaking our PS2 more than the other, to be honest. Because the way I did mine was absolutely horrific. But also I don't fancy the idea of having to like quickly fucking Indiana Jones it.
Well, that sounds more fun, doesn't it?
No, it sounds really stressful.
Yeah.
To me.
Stressful fun. Well, one man's stressful is another man's fun.
I was remembering when we with the Super NES, we were talking about those like converter stuff, for playing like NTSC games and stuff. And like I remember getting one of those that didn't work properly with a copy of Super Street Fighter 2, which because it was cheaper, like buying it from there. And then the problem was that it just used to randomly reset. Usually after 1 or 2 rounds, and it's it was really annoying because we'd like be playing with my mates and we'd be like getting into it, and then it would be like, oh, it's reset again, we've got to start again. Okay, sometimes you get maybe about 5 or 6 rounds and then it would reset.
Oh god.
And it was it just wasn't very good.
I should say, while we're doing feedbacks, Dave spotted this, and I genuinely I had no clue what I'd done when it happened. But Dave pointed out there is a bit in the last episode, and no one's written in about this, so I've got away with it, but I want to come clean. So I think it was James and Dave were talking about the American SNES.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think in my head, I thought, oh, they're talking about the Saturn again. So there's a good like
these guys always talk about Saturn.
Yeah. So there's a good 30 seconds of James and Dave being like, oh yeah, wasn't the American SNES weird? And then I just chime with, yeah, have you seen the American SNES? Yeah, dickhead.
Don't worry, Sean. It's easily done. I mean, I do it all the time.
I guess no one clocked it. They're like, well, Sean knows what he's talking about. If I had said it, I'd be like, fucking hell, Matt, you prick, what are you doing? But
it'll happen more frequently once you hit 45, Sean.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh dear. Major PDD, not even finished yet, guys. For fuck's sake, you made me buy GameCube. Show's absolutely awesome. See you in October. Yeah, I mean, just like when we did the Gotti shows, I'm like, I need to buy this game because I haven't like played it or whatever. When one of you lot are talking about it, I did think, oh man, it was tempting during the episode to, after hearing all the stories, to buy some of these old consoles, but
I was thinking the same, but like, I really can't justify it. I don't know where to put them at this point. Like,
I wouldn't mind buying a Saturn again and giving it another go because I only had one briefly with the BB gun trade, and I didn't have it for that long. So yeah, sometimes I feel like I'd like to go back to that again because
you don't want to buy another BB gun.
Probably I've got enough now.
Still buy all the BB guns he wants.
Lee, why was I not surprised when Sean said he didn't get on with Ocarina of Time, widely known as the greatest game of all time? Never stop being you, Sean.
Believe me, I've tried. Because I didn't play it at the time, so it just passed me by, and and then I tried to play it. I think it was when there was a GameCube disc that had Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and I think I tried to play that, and I was like, it's fine, but because it'd been hyped up so much, I was like, I don't really get it. I mean, if they are doing a remake, if they are doing a remake as rumored, then of course I'll. Sorry.
Did you never play the 3DS?
I never tried the 3DS version, which
that was good.
I gather is
It was a good version. But so would you're excited? I mean, so you'd be up for like a proper remake of it then?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Maybe we'll get one now.
We will. Yeah, because as we'll hear in a bit, the first half of those rumors have proven true. So
yes. And we're going to end with Stig. Here I thought nominating a watch would be the most embarrassing thing Matt did. Then I got to the PS1 draw. And I'll be honest, it wasn't a great moment for me.
I mean, you say that. About 2/3 of the audience seemed convinced that it was like a masterful play to bury the PlayStation.
I mean, towards the end, I'm just going to like dig in. I'm just going to, slag off the machine, which I do genuinely hate. I just wish I had thought about that first as like bring it in just to fuck it off. But I genuinely just I just couldn't remember. So I've actually got quite big concerns about my memory. I watched Project Hail Mary on the weekend, and I couldn't remember a single thing about it. And I watched that literally like 3 months ago. I loved it. I watched it the other day. I was like, oh, we go love this. And I was like, hang on. So what is? So I don't know. I mean, I think actually it's quite a serious concern of mine. And anyone who took the mickey at me for that, I think you need to have a good long look at yourself because I think I might have a medical issue. James.
Quite ageist
So
of
Matt, so you genuinely hate the original PlayStation? Is it purely just because of the whole Saturn connection? And
Yes,
that's
of course. Yeah.
It's just because it killed the Saturn.
Yeah. Even though, again, I know it wasn't that. Sega killed the Saturn, and the Saturn killed the Saturn. But yeah, I mean, like, I just wasn't a fan of it, and I would always have a bit of like, fuck you guys. Anyway, yeah, apologies to all the PS1 fans out there, or not. I don't know. I mean, I didn't do it
Apologies
justice,
or
but
fuck off.
yeah, I didn't do it justice, but also, could I be bothered to do it justice? Yes. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, my memory's just terrible. I mean, like the thing earlier about the, like the fact that the Last of Us was PS3 and other games like that. I'm just my memory's just so bad. I don't know what it is. It never used to be quite. Well, actually, no. Maybe it has always been bad.
The one that always gets me. I don't know if this is an age thing or if it's just an Arc Raiders thing. When I'm playing Arc Raiders, I can never fucking remember the names of all the robots, and I don't know if that's me getting old, but like because there's like 2 different types of turrets, and even now I couldn't tell you. Like I think one's a surveyor or something. No, a surveyor's something else. I'm every time I'm like, there's a fucking turret, and everyone's like, oh, well, which one is it? I'm like, I don't know, the bigger one.
Are they names similar?
I don't think the names are even that similar. So yeah,
some things just don't go in.
Really
some things that, I mean, but for me, a lot of it doesn't go in, and that is a concern. But then I will remember something really obscure or niche that has no place being in my brain.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fact I could remember the start of Project Hail Mary, I'm like, oh, hang on, this is. Do I see a doctor about this? Like, this is a concern. Let alone whether I owned or didn't own a console. I mean, I can assure you now I didn't. Is the honest answer?
I mean, they do like patch films now, don't they? Maybe they added a new
it wasn't that.
Because it was Across the Spider-Verse, wasn't it? Where people were going to see it a second time, being like, I don't remember that happening last, and it turned out there were several versions doing the rounds.
Okay. No, this isn't even that excuse.
Okay.
But Project Hail Mary is a modern classic. Haven't seen it a second time.
Is it still in the cinemas?
No, it's not. You can watch it on like home streaming and stuff. But
I'll do that.
No, actually, I wanted to go watch it in cinema, but no, it's not. And I didn't want to take LSD to watch a Michael Jackson movie, so it's okay. We'll just watch it at home then. Anyway, that is it for feedback. Go to tcjess.co to leave your feedback.
James.
Okay. Yeah, we got
what's
news.
happened?
Some things.
Yeah.
Some things have happened. This is a collection of things that happened
cool.
last week.
That's what they call the news.
Yeah. And so, I mean, the first one is about Bungie. So, Marathon and Destiny haven't done so well, causing what's called it's a $765 million impairment loss for PlayStation. Now, according to Eurogamer, they said that an impairment loss refers to when the recorded value of an asset exceeds its actual recoverable value. In basic terms, Bungie was worth $765 million less than expected in the last fiscal year. That's basically what that
Right, so it's
means.
not necessarily that they have lost
No.
X amount of dollars, it's just the
means they're worth
valuation
less.
of it has gone. Right, okay.
And this is because they like Sony marked down this operating income loss of 120 billion yen because of this, and they'd already reported previously a 31.5 billion yen loss in Q2 because of underperformance of Destiny, because apparently that hadn't done very well either. But yeah, it's not looking so good. I mean, a Marathon apparently costs about $200 million to develop. But then Bungie have still said that they're in this for the long haul, and that they've got future plans that are going to go on for years and all that kind of thing. But that's what the developers.
I mean, they're in it for long haul, but are Sony in it for a long haul?
That's
I guess,
the worry,
is
isn't it? Because like there are obviously people still supporting Marathon and people who really love it, but it seems to be like a relatively small but very vocal group. So yeah, how do you make this worthwhile money wise without absolutely rinsing that small but dedicated fan base?
But even that small but dedicated group, I mean, I've heard Rob on Remake Radio talk about this, and Cardo on that show, and even they're like, well, it's great, but even they can't see how it's going to financially do well. So even people that love it probably also acknowledge that it doesn't seem too great for the future. It's sad. It is sad because Bungie have been great with the Halo games, and I love the hell out of Destiny and Destiny 2 until I kind of stopped playing it, and this looked interesting, but not really for me, and it just feels like it's on a real downward trajectory. I don't know what they can do. I mean, if they, as David mentions a lot, if they were to announce Destiny 3, people were like, okay, we're back, I guess. Or but then that's Destiny 3, but on the proviso that don't make the mistakes they made of Destiny 2.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I would be pumped if they announced Destiny 3, obviously, but then is that really going to change much? I'm not sure. But yeah, this doesn't feel too good.
Doesn't feel good at all. No.
I mean, I think it would have been better if they'd have released something that was maybe not single player necessarily, but something which was more sort of story based or something like that. I think people would have been kinder. It's the fact that it's another live service, game, and people are not very happy about that.
And people do say there is like a very cool narrative to it, but to me, the misery I'd have to wade through to get to it, doesn't seem. To me, it's just it's not worth it. Sadly.
Yeah, because a single player like first person shooter game isn't going to bring in the way a live service game is. But I would, if they announced a proper campaign to this single player, I'll be like, okay, I'll definitely let it go because I know how good Bungie single player campaigns are. But that is the thing isn't bringing in the money. But then maybe ironically, maybe that would have brought in more money than Marathon is currently bringing in.
This is the paradox, isn't it? It's like on the one hand, clearly developers are going sort of, well, we could make a campaign. It will cost fucking loads and people will play it once and then that's it. But as you say, if that's what gets people in the door and then they're like, oh, and by the way, there's this extraction mode in it, maybe I'll give that a go. I feel like that cost could well be worth it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, as you remember, the original deal that Sony made, they paid $3.6 billion for Bungie.
Yeah,
that is a lot.
Can't imagine that they've made much on that. If
but
anything.
They are predicting that there's going to be additional growth of 30% in their operating income in the next fiscal year because they won't have this impairment apparently. But
okay, so now that they've decided it's worth way less, next year it'll be a fine because because they got it right now.
Because they've decided that it's worth less.
I think if anything, this brings the announcement of a Destiny 3. If that's happening forward, I was really surprised.
Is the studio big enough to support that and Marathon at this point? Given how many people I don't know how many people are left at Bungie. I just know obviously they got rid of a lot. In the last few years. But.
Because they can't really just can Marathon, can they? At this stage now, it'd
be a really bad look if they did. Because obviously people are like, well, why should I get hyped about Destiny 3 when you've just left Marathon to wither? So yeah, it's tough. Speaking of, quickly, studios that I feel a bit worried for, I know it's not in the news, but do you see the Double Fine of
they've unionising?
I saw
which
that.
is good for them, obviously.
Yes.
Like really support that, but also you do wonder if they're all looking around like, shit. Like Keeper was pretty good, but didn't make a huge dent.
Yeah.
I think Kiln is like genuinely got a lot of problems, as I was saying the other week. So you can't help but wondering if the staff there are feeling less secure, which is horrible.
And they're doing. I mean, we've had like news this week, a bit of news this week. I mean, I didn't put it in the news, but there's been like the usual Xbox PR stuff. With like they've changed the logo. They've said that they're not.
Everyone says it's fine now. We're back.
Yeah,
because
fine.
The name of something changed.
And they have talked about they're not going to pursue the co-pilot thing.
That's right. Yeah, they're taking co-pilot
Yes.
out of the console interface or whatever.
Yeah. Well, but that's the thing. Are they taking it out of the plan for Xbox Series consoles? Does that mean that it's not going to be in the next one, or what does that mean? It's all like nebulous as it usually is with Microsoft. So I know, but they're doing a good job at trying to say the right things at the moment. It's just it depends on what what actually happens. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Asher hasn't put her foot wrong yet. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens at their E3 show. See, will she come out in a t-shirt? Will she have her own vibe? I don't think she can. I think Phil did the t-shirt thing. That's done. It'll be like, oh, okay. But then maybe they all wear t-shirts with retro and weird games on.
They do, because they genuinely love the games, Matt. It's not a marketing thing.
But yeah, it feels like she hasn't put her foot wrong yet. So it'd be interesting to see what the next kind of good news story is regarding Xbox.
Well, there was, because they also had a what's it called, like not a reveal thing, but they had like a whole thing for developers, didn't they? Like, but
Yeah,
then,
It did, yeah, and it was kind of hyped up. Like a few sites picked it up as like, hey, they're gonna like talk about the next gen stuff, and yeah, it really was like a developer focused talk, really, wasn't it? So,
which was apparently mostly stuff they'd already talked about from GDC, I think it was. They said so. There was nothing really new there, but you know they're doing the stuff which you can do like quickly at the moment to try and like I said, like things like logo changes and stuff like that. It's not like it's nice, but it's not substantive at all. But it gets people excited. Anyway, the next story is we also had a weird situation whereby there was a 10-minute warning before there was a Nintendo Direct. Which
this was so strange. I thought I was like hallucinating or something because I was like, I'm about to go to bed. I'll stick something on YouTube, like a boring stealth camping video or something, and it was like, oh, Nintendo are live. There's a new Star Fox. So I was like, what the fuck?
It's like, where's this come from? And we kind of.
So I've got questions. Stealth camping?
I've not talked to you about stealth camping videos.
Oh my
God.
Not sure. Apologies, because you might have done. I might have just like
it's
zoned
okay.
out.
Follow this guy
Stealth
called
camping.
Steve Wallace, Camping with Steve. He does these videos where he just camps like essentially in public places, but where people like so in like the middle of a roundabout or whatever, and then just remains undetected for a night and then goes home.
Okay. Okay.
Really good.
Okay.
Anyway,
Stealth
Star
camping.
Fox.
Yes.
So yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere. This, and I mean, we suspected this was happening because Tier 1 Nate the Hate had already said that this was going to happen, and that also there was going to be an Ocarina of Time remake as well. So that's now looking more likely that that's going to happen. But this is coming out on the 25th of June this year, so it's not really that far off. There's like it's a remake of Star Fox 64, so it's got like new character designs, like remade visuals, and lots of new cutscenes, it seems, because they showed quite a lot of those. And it's also got like multiplayer that works with game share, which looks like I don't think that's going to work.
I mean,
very
game
well,
share
but...
stuff is never good. I think it's a very cool idea, but I think in practice, every time I've tried to use it, whoever's on the receiving console is just like, I mean, it's usually my 8-year-old son, and even he's like, why does this look so bad?
Yeah. Yeah, we tried it with because when I played Split Fiction with Asher, like because there's two options. You can either download like the client one on one of the other machines, or you can try Game Share. Tried Game Share, and it was awful. Yeah. Like it looked. It was.
Is it basically kicking out a stream of the gameplay?
So it sends a separate video feed.
Yeah,
which again is impressive. And
yeah,
then
it is.
It's
Really
rendering
impressive.
one view because it's not even like it just copies the same video feed. Like it's creating a new video feed and streaming it to the other console. So it is impressive, but as I say, just the reality of it is just not good, sadly.
But it'll also for the multiplayer as well. You can like do that and then also play online with other people, and there's lots of that's been added. But they've also added mouse controls as well that no one's going to use because it looks kind of weird, and a camera capture feature. Where
I thought this was pretty good.
Yeah,
no one's going to use it. But
no one.
I don't know. I mean, the demo I showed looked pretty. Yeah, so it's basically like VTubing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a VTuber rig. So essentially, if you're using the built-in game chat thing, you can select your avatar to be one of the pilots from the game, and then it will animate their face according to your like looking at your face on the camera feed. Pretty impressive.
Nintendo really know what they're doing, don't they? They know their audience. It's like they know what they're up to.
But look, surely we're going to see loads of videos of like Peppy Hare saying loads of offensive shit, and
definitely. You won't be able to capture it like on with
people will find a way. I think
they'll find a way.
But once again, they showed off the Nintendo game chat, and it looks ropey because it's like 2 frames a second or whatever. It's like I can't believe they're still showing this.
Yeah, it's mad because on the one hand, it's like, oh, they're being honest, like good for them. But then also, I can't imagine anyone seeing it being like, yeah, that looks like a cool feature that I should use. Look, all that blurry,
so
slow
choppy.
footage.
It's like, what so, and if I'm talking to you, as one of the characters, was that also going to be like 1 frame a second? Or because obviously in the demo, he the guy showed.
Yeah.
It was like, it was 1-to-1 with his facial movements. But if you're doing that via game chat, it's going to be like 1 frame a second or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
I thought it seemed cool technology. I was not gonna use it myself, but some people will absolutely use the hell out of that.
Mm-hmm. And then also, I mean, it's kind of cheaper than the usual sort of massively full price releases, but it's still, I mean, it's not cheap.
£50 or whatever.
It's no on the eShop. I think it was 40 something, like 41, 42. I think it was. But that's for the digital. But then for physical, obviously, it's like about 10 quid extra, I think.
Yeah,
So
I mean, we should say, so for anyone who's listening to this and they haven't actually seen the video yet, it appears to be very substantial it's a full remake. It's not a port by any means. Like, it looks really different. Like, it is based on Super Mario, Star Fox 64, or Lilac Wars, which I think is still one of the lamest renamings we've ever seen. But yeah, I think this looks really good. I'm excited about this. I never played Star Fox 64 properly back in the day because I was never an N64. Like, I played it at a friend's house, but I never had an N64. So I am well up for this.
Yeah, I never played it either for the same reason. And yeah, I mean, James, obviously you did.
Yeah, I played that. I mean, it's funny because this is like, I think someone said this is like the 4th or 5th remake of the game, because I mean the N64 one was kind of like a remake of the first, the Super NES one, and then it's like then there's been subsequent remakes of those, and Star Fox Zero that came out on the Wii U, which was pretty much a remake as well. I mean, it wasn't, but it was. It's like it was pretty much exactly the same, apart from obviously the weird controls that they added into it. But I'm looking forward to this because, I've always liked the Star Fox games. I've always thought they were pretty good, and I thought this looked like visually. I thought this looked very impressive. Particularly for for the in handheld mode and everything. And then a lot of people have been saying that the thing that a lot of us have got to remember is that I'd like something new, like something brand new, but this is not really maybe for us. It's for people that are like younger kids that have never played any of these before, that have seen the Mario film, suddenly seen who Fox McCloud is and want to try a game or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
does
that makes total sense.
I mean, it does make his inclusion in the film feel very cynical now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that was absolutely the reason that that was included. But because Asher saw it and he was like, "Yeah, I'll give that a try." He's never played any of those games, so I can see that.
No, Isaac was keen as well, so it makes sense.
But for people like me or Sean who haven't played the original, do you think we'll get as much out of it if there's no kind of remembering what it's like back in the day, or?
Because it's still a very the N64 one is still a very solid game. It's still really good. And I mean, I've gone back to it quite a few times, and the what's called the 3DS version of it, like the Star Fox 64 by 3D, was really good. That was a great release. It's definitely worth playing through. It's because it's quite most of these, they're quite short. They're quite short games, but then they also have multiple paths and multiple ways through. So there's quite a lot of replayability there.
I was going to say, because I saw people being snarky about the fact that, because they make a point in this presentation, they're like, oh, there's more cutscenes now, and there's chatting between the crew and stuff between missions, and people are like, well, I don't care, that's never been part of Star Fox before, why add that now? But I mean, realistically, you're going to watch most of those once, and then, as I say, because it's a weirdly sort of run based game, where, as you say, there's different routes for taking stuff, so probably you're going to watch all the cutscenes once, right? And then probably skip them. But then also it will be quite cool to then, on other runs, take different routes and then see if things play out differently in any sort of meaningful way. Yeah. I think that's fine. I don't, it's not going to cost you anything.
What do you think of the design of the characters?
I like them, James. And again, I've seen people giving all sorts of opinions. I think they look like the ones from the original game's box art. I think that's what they've gone for.
Yeah, well, what's not to like about them?
Yeah. People are saying that they look like do you remember the Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
Yeah. And, it's the eyes. I can kind of see... I can kind of see that. I mean, I haven't seen all their teeth. I haven't seen the teeth, but I can kind of see what I mean. But I think it looks great, actually. And I have no kind of, thoughts or memories on the previous one, but I think it looks really, really good, really nice. Mm-hmm.
I think it's mostly because Nintendo don't usually go in for realism, with their character, the character models and stuff like that. And these do look more real, I would say, than most other character models they've ever done. So it's a bit odd, but I don't know. I think it looks fine. It's I will buy this. Obviously.
I will also buy this.
Again, as someone who didn't play any, I haven't played any Star Fox game. All I kept thinking, this is so Star Wars. I mean,
well, yeah, that was the intention originally when Nintendo did it. It was supposed to be like a Star Wars.
It's got the Hoth level. It's R-wing. It's like X-wing. Even like the wipes in like the trailer. It's like okay, this is even the angles, the camera angles, and some of the cutscenes. It's okay, this is Star Wars, but. Yeah, no. I mean, so this is more of a budget release. If it reviews well, I guess I'll play it. But I'm not like, I desperately need to play this. But I guess you will definitely get it, James, because you have love and memories of the previous ones.
Yeah, definitely. And it's because there haven't been a lot of really good Star Fox games. There's been a few of them have come out.
That's the thing, isn't it? Like it's such a long running series, but actually it's very patchy.
Yeah.
Like first one, beloved, but. If you went back to it now, you'd probably find it quite hard work. 64, good.
Yeah.
Remake of 64 on the 3DS, good.
But everything else is not.
And then everything else. Well, because there was the Star Fox Adventures.
Yeah, Adventures.
So that was the one.
Was that the fully on foot one, wasn't it? Or
so that was the one that was originally like, what was it, Dino Planet?
It was Dinosaur Planet. It was originally
And then basically
like,
Nintendo said, look, no one will fucking buy this, make it a Star Fox game.
Yeah.
Which is why it's just Fox McCloud running around with a magical staff hitting monsters.
That was not a good game either. Like Star Fox Adventures. It was although if you're bored, just go on YouTube and go on YouTube and
Google
just
it on
search.
YouTube.
Go on YouTube, Google it.
You need to search for the store owner in Star Fox Adventures, and just imagine having to hear that over and over again whenever you like go in or talk to anybody or like that. It's wild. It's
cool.
It's dreadful.
And then there was a proper Star Fox on the GameCube, wasn't there?
Yes, there was Star Fox
Armada or something.
Yeah, and that was made by Namco, I think, as I recall. And
it's one of those I forget it exists and no one ever seems to talk about it, so I've assumed it wasn't great.
Because it was during the GameCube era when Nintendo were like farming out their some of their stuff to other studios. Like we got like F-Zero GX was Sega did that. It was Abuse Vision, I think it was. And so Namco got Star Fox, but because there was also an arcade version, I think, as I recall, they were supposed to develop. But
they're doing this one as well, aren't they? Because I saw like their credits at the end of this video, so I guess they're making this one as well. They're helping.
Really, Namco? I don't know.
I mean, but like when the direct ended, after that you saw the prologue and stuff, and then just cut to it just ended. Like it had all like Bandai Namco like all the.
I wonder if did they mention Armada and that's why they had to credit them possibly.
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it should be good. But,
do you think this is like a route to them? After this, if this does well, and with him in the movie, they'll do a proper new original one, or like this is like
they might be testing the water,
quicker, easier. I mean, it seems like quite a significant remake, as you say, Sean. But maybe testing the water, and then maybe they'll announce like a proper. Yeah, because I'm not sure if Nate the Hate said there's gonna be like a couple of these, or this was the one that he was referring to, or
I think he specified this and the Ocarina of Time.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But no, I think that's definitely the case. I think they like Sean, as you said, it's like testing the water, to see if this hits, because I think the only one that ever has hit, like in terms of sales numbers or whatever, was 64. The others, I mean, certainly the Wii U version, I don't think did that well.
No, and nothing on the Wii U did, but
no.
Yeah, Star Fox Assault, is that the one you're referring to?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Star
Fox Assault. Yeah,
just 4 feedback comes in. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing that. But as I was saying before the show, like the one that I remember kind of fondly is the DS version, which was like Star Fox Command, which a lot like nobody liked, but I kind of did because it was a different take on the game.
It was
because it was like sort of a strategy element to it as well. I thought it was good.
Yeah,
yeah,
decent.
Anyway, next story is about Switch 2. And its sales and stuff, because now it's sold close to 20 million units, so it's doing pretty well. But Nintendo are expecting it's going to drop next year. Like they're going to sell less next year. Although it is still 5 million units at the moment ahead of where the original Switch was during the same time frame. But the biggest issue related to this is probably that the price, because Switch 2 prices are going up from the September the 1st. So they're going up in Europe by €30 to €499. I don't know what that is in pounds. And it's going up. I mean, like in Canada, it's going up by €50 to 679 Canadian dollars, which is quite a lot. So yeah, there's a bit of a concern that there's going to be a bit of a slowdown with this, and also because we don't know what's really coming going forward, and there seems to be
it's not like if you've been on the fence about getting a Switch 2 now, and you're like, oh well, price rise is coming, maybe I should get on board. What have I got to look forward to? Don't know.
I mean, the stuff I was looking, because like the lineup stuff they've got the Yoshi and the Mysterious Book that's coming, Star Fox now, and Splatoon Raiders, which is coming in July.
Which is, probably all going to be fine games, but it's not.
It's not a new Mario game, and it's not
it's
a
not
Zelda
any
game.
of the big hitters, is it?
Yeah. And we already had Metroid, and we know how that turned out.
And the Animal Crossing is probably a while away, and we've had Pocopia and stuff.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not thanking the lucky stars about Pocopia being such a huge hit.
Yeah, I don't think they were expecting that, to be honest. I think
that's done really well, and so has the Switch versions of Fire Red and Leaf Green, like Pokemon. They've also done. They've sold over 4 million units.
So they'll just keep re-releasing all the Pokemon games forever.
Yeah,
and it's
keep
Pokemon
charging you for
Champions as
ROMs
well.
that they've downloaded from Pirate Bay, and then it'll be fine.
But then also the original Switch is still selling pretty well, and its lifetime sales are now 155.92 million.
Jesus Christ.
They're only 5 million off the PS2 now, and I think there's a very high probability they're probably going to eclipse that. At this point,
I think so.
You're probably right.
Because which is kind of.
So they say they're going to sell fewer Switch 2s. I guess we can say it's because where the hell are the games? They obviously know what games are coming or not coming.
Yeah.
Maybe they know that they don't have a big hitter in the coming months, and that's why they're doing that. But I guess it's also because the price increase will just result in fewer consoles sold, which is interesting. That doesn't make me think, oh, I'm gonna rush out. I've got a Switch 2. I use it like a Switch 1. I feel like I haven't really properly seen a massive benefit almost for getting a Switch 2 at points, really. I mean, Donkey Kong looked amazing, but I don't know, it's just ultimately I want a new Mario or Zelda game. That's basically ultimately what I want.
Do you think they're saving, because when's the Zelda film out? Is that next year?
I think it is, yeah.
Do you think they're going to try and make next year a Zelda year, and they're going to get out a new Zelda for then? But then if they're already doing Ocarina of Time remake, maybe that's everyone's.
Maybe Ocarina of Time thing is like this year's big Christmas game,
which
is some ways sad, some ways could be exciting. I mean, I'll definitely play it again. I haven't played it since N64 days, so I'd love to play that again.
Yeah, I could totally see that being the thing. Yeah, that it will be. Yeah, their Christmas thing will be that. But we'll see.
Still need a fucking Switch 2 Lite as well. Like, I feel like it's really bothered because I know, as I've mentioned, my wife's addicted to Pocopia now. Still, in fact,
how many hours has she put into that?
I don't want to know how many hours she's put into it. I have suggested that at some point we do a stream where she shows off everything she's built, because I can't bear the thought, the amount of stuff she's built in it. I can't bear the thought of no one seeing it apart from me and her.
Yeah,
occasionally
that should definitely happen.
So I said, can we do a stream where you just walk us through? She's built a whole fucking town. It's insane. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, one, I think they'll definitely do whatever they can to get Switch above PS2 numbers, 100% sure. But why do we never see what the new UK price for this is? We see Europe, see US, see Canada,
weird,
Australia.
Yeah.
I assume it is coming up in the UK because they said it's going to be worldwide, but there's no one said how much they're going to go up. I assume it's going to go up 50 quid over here, but
probably, yeah.
Why do we never see that? Why have we not seen that? I don't.
It is odd. I think we just, no one gives a shit about the UK anymore. I think
it's a global price increase. It will be happening over here, but it's just
but it's not specified, is it? Yeah. Don't know.
Maybe they don't want to worry people too much because it'd be even higher.
UK's going through a lot as it is. Let's not.
Yeah, let's not do this as well.
Yeah. Also, the My Nintendo shop is being renamed to the Nintendo shop.
No, yeah. So my Nintendo Store.
Yeah.
I mean, it does make total sense to just name it Nintendo Store. I mean,
Yeah, of course.
no one ever called it my Nintendo Store.
No.
Apart from Nintendo. So yeah, it makes total sense. It's like that's branding that actually makes sense, but
Yeah.
huge.
There you go.
Great
Huge.
news.
Okay, next story is about a European alternative to Unreal Engine. So this is Arjen Brucey, who worked for Epic, Guerrilla Games, and was also a founding member of Boss Key. You remember Boss Key?
Oh, yeah.
Cliffy B, Radical
Yeah,
Oh
Heights.
yes.
Yeah. I got a Radical Heights reference.
Yeah. He made all his money from Radical Heights, and with his billions in the bank now, he's gonna do this. Okay.
So he is now working on what's called the Immense Engine, and the intention is to provide an alternative to American and Chinese engines on the market. This is what he said. He says, no one is currently making an engine that is fully European hosted, built by Europeans, and complies with European rules and guidelines. Creating a usable 3D world is becoming increasingly important, certainly for purposes other than just gaming. It's also going to integrate AI. This is the other point.
Oh, good.
So he said, the rise of AI
Cool.
means that we need to approach the development of this kind of crucial software differently. As an old hand with a vision of how things should work, I see opportunities there. If you're smart and know how to put a good framework of AI agents to work, you can do the work of 10 or 15 people. So that's great.
Cool.
Yeah. So this is the intention here is to create like I guess like Unreal Engine or whatever, but a different one that people can use instead.
I wonder if there's really any room for any more engines like this at this point. I mean, I guess we'll find out.
Well, there's a lot of people, like developers, not entirely happy with Unreal. Is that, or am I just imagining
I think there's problems with most of them, right? I know a lot of people have like since all the so people have had problems with Unreal. People have had problems with Unity, obviously, all the stuff they tried to pull a year or two ago with charging people per installs and stuff. So I think a lot of devs have moved over to Godot since then, and I've seen and this is anecdotal, obviously, more and more devs on Blue Sky and stuff just being like, just fucking use open source stuff at this point, because everything else just feels like you're being tied to a company who can fucking do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And it's just feeling so risky these days. But then obviously doing everything yourself is a nightmare of its own. So I don't know what the answer is, but
And if it's the alternative and it is full integration of AI, I mean that some people will love that, others won't love that so much. But I guess more competition is always good. It's gonna be hard to go up against someone like Epic who can say, "Oh yeah, it's now free." Because back in the day, Unreal Engine it would cost us the money to develop on, or you'd buy a license. And now they're like, it's free because they've got the Fortnite money.
Yeah.
So for a new company to try and do that and go up against the financial wealth and financial kind of, battle chest or whatever that Unreal have got, it's how can they compete? But hey, more competition is good. Mm-hmm. And especially if it complies with European rules and guidelines, which is
I'm a big fan.
my favourite part of any engine.
I know, I love that. It's it's very good. Okay, final story is that Takashi Tezuka is retiring from Nintendo after more than 40 years. So he's been there since 1984 when he was a part-time employee when he was at university, and he also worked on like Super Mario Brothers and was also designer on other games, but then also directed like Legend of Zelda, Mario World, Link to the Past, Yoshi's Island, all of these games. And he's also been a producer on more recent stuff like Super Mario, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Mario 3D World, and also Breath of the Wild. And he's going, which is a bit of a shame. And then also they're losing 3 other directors as well that are retiring this month. It's Katsuri Yumiyama, Keiko Akashi, and Takuya Yoshimura. Sorry, these are Chinese names. It'd be easier, honestly. But
I can't have a go because you fucking speak Chinese, so it's not like. I know
but they're also
obviously
retiring.
not the same thing, but yeah.
So this is a shame because obviously these people have shaped a lot of the games that we played over the years, and now they're going, and hopefully they're handing over to people that are going to continue the legacy, I guess, of this.
I mean, it's mad, isn't it? That I say mad. It's a good thing that like Nintendo have these people who've just been with Nintendo for basically their entire lives and are now retiring, because it feels like so many other companies there's just a constant churn of talent, and you do wonder if Nintendo managing to hold on to people the way they do is one of the reasons why most of the stuff they do is good. But yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know how much Miyamoto is, involved day to day.
He's
These
making great
days.
films. That's what.
Yeah, other than the films, and then this guy who's
Really?
seemingly like worked on or produced all these massive, like titles, franchises. Like it feels like this. I wonder where the future of Nintendo is with these people going, and then we have loads of remakes. It's again, it's not worrying because Nintendo, and they've done this before. But is this like the biggest kind of cultural change or biggest kind of management change they've had in their history? Like with Miyamoto probably doing. I mean, again, assuming he's doing this guy leaving, like these other three directors leaving, it feels like
It's
Yeah,
hard
could
to
be a
say,
huge
isn't it? Because we don't know well enough, as you say, what they're actually doing day to day. I suppose what would be cool is like because we know a lot of the oldest names at Nintendo. Maybe they should be doing more to highlight like who's coming up, who's going to be following up when all these people retire.
Yeah.
Because there is obviously like there must be loads of talent there, but we just don't necessarily hear about the younger ones.
Yeah, they should be bringing them out on the directs and stuff.
Yeah,
Working on
100%.
would be good. It's funny. I was reading Edge the other day, and there was an interview with this guy who's doing the Exit 8, the game.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
There's
And
a movie,
film,
isn't there, coming?
Yeah, there's a film of this coming out, and one of the quotes in the piece was saying how he talked with Miyamoto about like adapting like games to films, and like he got advice from him, and I was just thinking,
Yikes.
don't do that. It's not a great idea. But yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's the end of the news.
Cool.
This week.
What have we been playing? Now, obviously, because we had a week off this last week, so there are 2 big releases to talk about. Should we do Mixtape first? Because I believe we've all played that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Correct.
definitely.
So Mixtape came out this week. I think it's fair to say we were all excited about it because it's from Beethoven and Dinosaur, who made The Artful Escape, that we really rated. And it kind of felt like, I mean, other people really liked it, but it felt like mostly people were sort of a bit lukewarm on it, whereas we
absolutely fell in love with that game.
Yeah. So we were really excited about this. It's a very short game. It's a coming of age story, and I was excited about this, but I was a little bit worried. Like I was like, is it going to be like too American? Like I wasn't a cool kid growing up. Am I not going to get anything from this? I was talking to a friend of the show, Joe Scrabbles. Like he played it and he was like, I fucking loved it. Like you need to play it. And I was like, and he said something like it made me want to be a teenager again. And I was like, hang on, did you enjoy being a teenager the first time around? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, well, you can't be trusted then, because that's not a normal opinion. I ended up absolutely loving this. How did you guys find it?
I similarly also really very much enjoyed this, and I enjoyed this more than The Artful Escape. Like I really did. And I think there's so much about this that I think that could have been not very good, but I think they pulled off really well. And the main game that I kept on thinking about while I was playing this was Bloom and Rage. That Lost Records. And I know that they're not the same game at all. Like they're really not. Like Bloom and Rage was like a whole sort of like, making decisions, making choices and stuff. But that game was embarrassing. Like I would say, like it was very embarrassing, like in terms of like characterization and everything. And that's what I thought that they got very right with this. I thought the characters were always like just on the right side of pretentious. Like they were pretentious, but then they knew they were pretentious, and it kind of worked. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was
How about you?
I've always thought it incredible. I mean, I was excited before, but there was maybe some not reservations about this, but just looking at this or playing it or about to play it before I did, or looking at it through the lens of Life is Strange, which I think is the obvious kind of comparison. and the mistakes that we feel Life is Strange has made as a series, and the last game I preferred, then Bloom Rage and other ones. But anyway, generally it's just not being great in recent games. But yeah, this did everything that did and so much better. I love the characters. I feel like some people can maybe be like, oh god, some of the stuff is cringy, but I think it was played perfectly.
Sort of the point, I think, for some of them.
Yeah, perfectly well. I love the characters. I love the it's not much of a huge story, but what they did well is that they made the small things feel massive, just like in the characters' minds.
That's it.
I want to go to this party. What if I can't go to party? It's gonna be the end of the world, and I'm, one of the characters is leaving the next day for a big new kind of job, and it's like, this is the last chance. Everything's got to happen. It's like it really made small things feel massive, and it did remind me of, being young. Like I wasn't as cool as these guys, but there was some scenes. I kind of remember those kinds of feelings or emotions where you feel like your whole world's ending, or you desperately want to do this one thing, and if you don't, like, that's it. Everything's over. I thought, the story, the characters, the way they interacted with each other, I thought it was all just so well done, and then the music as well. The music isn't really like my kind of jam, as it were, but it's all brilliant, and it actually kind of made me want to listen to some of the music more than I would ordinarily do. But I loved everything about it. There's so many bits I want to talk about, but I don't want to spoil bits.
Well, this is it, because
it's only 3 to 4 hour game. It's not it's not huge, is it?
The bit where I knew, whether I was going to really enjoy this game was, I can say the kissing. I think.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Without, that was absolutely fantastic. That was. It was like.
I suppose we should explain the premise of it. Is that so you got these 3 friends, Stacy, Slater, and Cassandra, and basically they'd planned this big road trip because Cassandra was going to university or college, sorry, and basically Stacey ends up sort of ruining that because she's got a lead on a job in New York and she's flying out like before this road trip could take place, basically. And the premise of the game is it's Stacey's last night before she goes away, and a cool girl whose name I've forgotten is holding her famous annual beach party.
Yeah.
And they need to get some booze, and it's so the setup of the story is so boilerplate, like American coming of age movie. And this is what I found really interesting is the amount of people who are like, I can't relate to this because I'm not American, and which is fine, can't change how you feel about it. But for starters, the developers aren't American, they're Australian. So I think it's using the American coming of age story as just a kind of as a template to them.
Yeah, that's like a vehicle for their own stories. Yeah.
So I don't, if you've been put off thinking, well, I'm not American, I didn't have a life like that, I'm not going to get this. I think it's entirely possible, because again, me playing this and me going in thinking, well, I wasn't cool, I didn't break the law, I didn't, I don't drink, don't smoke, any of that stuff. But playing this, within the first sort of 15 minutes, I was like, shit, so before I went to university, I had a gap year. And all I did was I worked part-time in a restaurant, and then at least once a week we would go to a gig or the cinema or whatever, and I would make a mixtape for the car every time we went. And we'd just talk about music and stuff in the car, and it's like fuck, that was such a good time. And that's what this game is about, is those things that you from your past that maybe you've forgotten about, but actually in hindsight you're like, oh shit, that was fucking brilliant, and I didn't really know it at the time.
Yeah.
And it's all about those sorts of moments, and there's not a huge amount of interactivity, and goodness me, I have seen some fucking honking takes about this game the last few days.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of it's not a game, it's an experience. Well, it is a game because you are doing some of these.
Right.
The fact you're actually being able to physically interact with these things makes it the game, whether it's mechanic heavy or not. I think it works.
If you think people are people are posting footage, so there's certain sort of action sequences where it doesn't really matter what you do, right? You're flying down the road on a shopping cart or whatever, and you sort of drifting, you move around or whatever, and you're trying to dodge stuff, but then people are like, oh yeah, but look, if you don't touch the controller, like nothing bad happens. It's like, yeah, I don't really like. Maybe it's because we already played and loved The Artful Escape. I was kind of expecting this.
Yeah, I think we knew the level of interactivity with this game.
Kind of spectacularly missing the point to like focus on that stuff.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't understand how in 2026, like your view of what games can be could be so narrow.
Yeah.
To just be like, oh no, this is shit because like what do you want to get points? Do you want to be able to fucking crash and die and then be like, oh, you have to redo this section, which would then restart the song and would make the song really annoying.
And like, so when I got an achievement from like and the shopping trolley bit is in the trailer, so it's not a huge spoiler, and that bit was amazing. I loved it. It looked
really
great and stuff. But when I got an achievement saying you did it without crashing, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm pretty damn good at this. So everyone got that achievement. Is that what you're saying? Everyone got an achievement for not crashing, or can you crash? I don't know.
I think you can crash. I think it just doesn't really matter. Like it just sort of carries on regardless.
But yeah, that bit was fun as hell.
But I think that's fine. Yeah,
I really agree with you, Sean, about the fact that it's like, I mean, obviously, I didn't have the exact same experience that these characters had like growing up, but there still are themes and feelings that you can relate to, that these characters, are clearly going through, like particularly, like, around like friendships and saying goodbye and, and how you feel about, people going off at different times and, all of that sort of stuff. And it's like, I don't think you have to say that you've had exactly the same experience or even the same setting to still connect with those themes. I think that's why I think it worked.
I mean, I wasn't partying every week, but being in Bognor, what we did do when we were underage drinking was drink on the beach, on Fridays. And someone who looked older would get like, the cider from the co-op, and then we'd all go down to the beach, and then the police would chase us and we'd throw the cider in the bushes. And that was it. Like, you'll do it on Friday. You were talking about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, quiet day, Thursday, Friday. And then like that was kind of it. And that isn't the same as this, but it's like where those kind of nights felt massive. Like, we're going to the beach again. It's and it's the same kind of vibes here, where the small things just were the biggest things on their minds at a time. And I think it does that really well.
And as I said,
sorry, James, go on.
I think they did a really good job in terms of like not making it too like cringe at all. Really, I didn't find it like that at all. Like I thought the characters are what they are, and the developers were really good at sort of like demonstrating that. I'm sorry, I'm not sure where I'm going with that. That's terrible. I don't agree with the whole thing of like it being like sort of like cringeworthy or whatever like that, because I don't.
Well, I think cringe is different people. Like some people, didn't find Bloom Rage cringe, and others did. I think that's very, very personal. All I can say is I think they nailed it, and I was interested in these characters, and I wasn't like, ugh.
I thought they were genuinely funny as well.
Yeah,
like,
What I was trying to say is I think this felt significantly more self-aware as to what it was than say Bloom and Rage did, which is why I think it worked. That's
it feels there's a self-awareness to it, as you say. I think the music choices are great, and like Matt says, I won't get into specifics because I think it would be tantamount to spoilers to be like, oh yeah, and at this point this song plays, because the way the songs are introduced is really cool. I think like because you know what I'm like about video games, I'm even worse with music. Like in terms of being a fucking snob, but I thought generally the choices were really interesting, and like there was some stuff I didn't know. There was plenty of stuff where like I knew the artist, but maybe hadn't heard that particular song. And so I think it's like the soundtrack is like really, really well.
Yeah, I want to find the playlist. I'm sure someone's on Spotify or Apple Music, whatever, and I'll listen to it again because. And there's probably gonna be new artists, which are old artists, which I haven't really listened to or discovered or heard of before. But like the soundtrack was just great throughout. I was excited whenever there was a new song and how it was utilized. And
I mean,
I think one thing that was really cool is the way Stacey, the main character, talks about. Like, because obviously this game is, I mean, as far as I can tell, it's not really specific about when it is set. We assume the 90s, but then there's a lot of talk of like CDRs, which I think might date it a little bit later than 99. But
no, that was late 90s.
That was late 90s.
Yeah,
cool.
CDRs.
But yeah, I found it really interesting that like, so Stacey's pretty much always wearing headphones, and she talks about she has this obsession with like she has this belief that she knows shitloads about music and she can soundtrack every moment of her life. And I think, and someone says to her like, why are you always wearing the headphones? And I found it really interesting that this is very early in the game, by the way, so this isn't like a spoiler. And she talks about the fact that it helps her with her own brain, basically. And you can tell it's like this is someone in like the 90s basically saying, well, I have panic attacks or whatever, but without that sort of vocabulary that we have now.
Yeah.
She's trying to vocalize that she struggles without the headphones on, which now we would be like, we totally get that, but in the 90s might have seemed really odd.
Yeah,
I
I totally got that.
interesting.
And
Yeah.
it probably isn't fair, but I thought, yeah, maybe there's kind of some. I mean, this probably isn't the case, but yeah, like some neurodiversity here, where
Yeah.
in the days they didn't have the words for it, but here, like
exactly.
I'm like, we can see it through today's lens. I'm like, well, yeah.
Yeah. Like it wouldn't have been fitting if she'd used sort of modern vocabulary to talk about it.
Yeah.
So she talks about it in the only way she can, and I thought that was really interesting and really well done. And we see, because she's made the soundtrack for the day because she's like she's planned it all out in her head, and then when circumstances change and she's like, "Fuck, I don't have the song for this," and that clearly really gets to her, and I found that relatable. Really, really interesting stuff, I thought.
I've seen some really bizarre takes with that as well, with like the soundtrack, like with
Yeah.
what was chosen. It's like it's like a personal choice, isn't it? Like what what they put together here. It's what they wanted to put together. It's
100%.
very odd.
I also like this game looks stunning.
Yes,
Like it's Unreal
Yeah, it
Engine
really does.
5, and there's some bits. Again, I won't go into specifics, which look absolutely incredible with like lighting, because it's obviously very stylized, cartoony, but in some bits where the lighting looks realistic, where it's shining off, bouncing off shiny surfaces and stuff. I'm like, and you see, I'm not gonna say it, but there's bits where it looks amazing, like it's with the various like from very realistic aspects to quite cartoony. Also not graphically, but I also love the use of like FMV with game.
Yes. Yeah, like real
I
life
thought that was
footage
just
and-
really great, and I didn't expect that at the beginning. And then there's some great scenes which I'm like, okay, this kind of rings a bell, or just like gives me like thought about memories I've had in the past. It's just brilliant. Loved it. I can see myself replaying this again. Not necessarily to get achievements, although I probably spent a bit too long thinking, oh, if I keep. There's a couple of bits where you're kind of like, there's one bit where you're shooting maybe like rocks across a lake, and I'm like, I'm just going to keep, I'm just going to keep skimming these stones until everything is knocked over. I'm sure it stopped. No, it didn't stop. There's something else I did for ages. And I guess I won't spoil it, but I was like, I'm just going to keep doing this because I want to get it perfect and right, even though this is not a game about doing it perfect and right. It's not really a game about, do all these things, get achievements. There are achievements, and none of them are secret. You can look about what you need to do, and some of them are quite funny. But I was like, the stone skimming was just so damn fun. I was like, I'm just going to keep doing this. Keep hitting things, knocking things down. Yeah, great game. It's a shame Dave's not here this week, but I'm excited to hear his thoughts. I'm sure he's going to echo a lot of what we said, I'm sure as well. But yeah, absolutely loved everything about it, really. What a special game.
And it's short as well. And these days, that is entirely welcome. I did this in one sitting. It's like, took me just over 3 hours, I think. And I don't really know, and I definitely lingered on a few bits. So I think some people have said up to 4 hours. Which
I can say
stuff I didn't, but
because some bits I took a bit longer because I was trying to do things a certain way, and I've definitely no more than 4 hours, and I take ages to play games. So
it is like structurally, there's definitely not a lot going on. There'll be a bit where you're in a room and there are things to look at and interact with, and then there'll be one thing that's clearly it's sort of highlighted like this will move things on, and then there might be a sort of pseudo action sequence. And then you're in another environment where there's just stuff to look at and click on. But for me, that was fine because I found those interactions really funny and interesting and heartfelt and all the rest of it.
And they brought a new mechanic. You had fun with it, and it's short and sweet. You can move on to the next one. So it was
100%.
quite good and creative in that regard.
The again, no spoilers. The bit where you're picking out videos to rent.
Yes, well, I want to talk about that bit. Yeah, that bit was so funny. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Man.
good game.
Very good.
So when was the Artful Escape? Was that like 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
Yeah, it must have been 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just wondering how long the wait's gonna be for the next one. But yeah, Mixtape was excellent. I'm so glad I played. I'm so glad also it lived up to expectations because I think when I first saw it, we were like, oh, this is kind of like a Life is Strange like game, yeah, because maybe like narratively, but obviously gameplay totally different. But I'm really glad.
I mean,
it
yeah,
lived
like
up to
there's
expectations.
zero choices to be made in this. You
No.
are just sort of being carried through the experience. But again, maybe it's because I more or less expected that going in. It did not bother me at all.
No,
Yeah. God, sorry, Phil was just posting in the chat. So Artful Escape was 2021.
man, 5 years. Okay,
5 years ago. God damn. Right, moving on.
Yep.
To the other big release. Now, this was a couple of weeks ago, but we haven't talked about it yet because of episode 500. Saros. Who's played this?
I played this.
Matt's
I
played
have
this.
not
James, have
played
you
this. No.
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
forget. Yeah.
I have also played it. So this is the new game from Housemarque, who did Returnal, and it's a lot like Returnal, which I never played, so I'm gonna struggle to compare it. But I think it's an interesting game because obviously Housemarque were traditionally like a 2D shoot 'em up studio, and then Returnal was like, now we're doing a third person shooter now, and this is sort of going further into that with a sort of more involved sort of roguelike structure, isn't it? Like
Yes.
I know like Returnal was run based, but am I right in thinking you didn't really unlock things that sort of carried over? Like it was still
I mean, it's been a long time, but I mean, I really enjoy Return. I think I only got the second or third biome because it's just too damn difficult. But it looks stunning. The gameplay was amazing, just like it is in this. Spoilers, but it was too difficult, and I didn't want to persevere at the time, and so I'm hearing a lot of people dropped off. But they wanted to love the game. And I think there were changes and updates to make it easier and whatnot. I mean, at one point you couldn't even like save in the middle. You couldn't stop or save in the middle of a run, or if you left it and there was an update, you were back to the beginning. Anyway, I loved what I played, but it's just too hard, and I put it down. But a lot of things they've done in this have been done to make it easier for those players, and that's probably why a lot of people it seems like they absolutely love it. Yeah, I think this game is so damn good. I think it looks stunning.
Looks incredible. Sounds amazing as well.
Sounds amazing. Gameplay is ridiculous as well, and it's so multi-layered. So yeah, like I mean, I played. Well, my game clock I checked is like 5.5 hours, but I've only died 9 times. So I've probably only done like 10 runs or 9 runs or 8 runs, whatever it is. And just before the pod, I finally finished the first boss.
Yeah, same. Did it today.
and the way I was able to do that is, unlike Returnal, where I would have just like kept struggling. Every time we die in Saros, or if you leave like the main area to go back to like the kind of the hub area, you take back half of the credits that you I can't remember the name of the credits, but you gain credits for a level. When you die or you come back, you lose half of them, but crucially that half you take back you can use to upgrade your skill tree. So even when you die or come back, you can still get better at certain things, and that skill tree can increase the amount of that credit you get on every run. It can increase your shield or your power and those other things as well. You can start with a higher kind of skill levels you go into each run. So again, unlike Returnal, I felt like even when I was dying and doing really badly, I was like, okay, it's fine, I've still got credit, I'm going to be better next time. And basically what happened was I think I must have had like 3 or 4 goes at the boss, but by that point I'd maxed out my skill tree, because basically there's a skill tree, there's loads of different things you can do, but you can only get so far before you need to kill, I guess, each boss. So I got as much as I maximized everything until I needed the thing I would get from killing the first boss. So skill wise, I had as much as I had. I had loads of kind of abilities, and my shield was high as it can go at the time, and that really, really helped. And actually, on the run I did before I killed the boss, so on that first area, you get to a boss door eventually, but you've got to find a key for that boss door, so you've got to go a lot further on, and that's when the eclipse happens. And the eclipse, this is all the wrong terminology, but whatever. You go to a bit where you have basically like activate this eclipse, and when that happens, the enemies are tougher, you take more damage, but you gain more credits. whatever the currency is. So there was a massive risk reward there, and so I'd done that. I'd actually opened a boss door, got killed by the boss, and then went back. But then when I went back on my next run, I went slightly too far and I couldn't get back to via the shortcut. So I had to do a whole other run. But what I meant was I had but I had much better weapons, much more shield and all those kind of upgrades. So then when I got to the boss, I felt even more powerful. I'd also upgraded another part of the skill tree where I had second life basically once I died, and all that combined with the maximized skill tree at the time meant I did it, and that first boss was amazing. It was
so good.
I almost forgot to blink at points. It's just there's so much jumping and remembering kind of shot patterns of how the enemy is going to fire at you. It wasn't too difficult, and I think the game enabling me to upgrade along the way for every failure meant that it was getting easier and that helped me. And I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I cannot wait to see other biomes and see what more this game's got to offer, because every time I play this, I feel like I'm learning more about the levels and kind of granularity and how you play this game. You have a shield by pressing things L1. Oh no, I think L1 might be dash. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. Yep.
R1,
and that basically can shield you from these blue projectiles. And at first, so if I see a blue projectile, it fires towards me, I put a shield on, that's that. But actually, when you see those projectiles and they hit your shield or you go towards them, they charge up your power weapon. So at first you're just using a shield as like a defense mechanism, but then you realize, oh no, hang on, if I see like an enemy firing with blue projectiles, I basically put the shield on, bomb towards them to suck up essentially all the blue projectiles, and then that means I'm kind of charging my power weapon faster. So it turns a shield from a defense weapon, a defense mechanism to an offensive weapon. It's so good.
And the way that plays out in the first boss is fascinating, because you can reach the first boss and maybe still not fully grasped at this point. As you say, it's more of an offensive tool than a defensive one. And the boss is obviously just fucking bombarding you with waves of these projectiles. And then when you realize it's each one of those is enough to charge the power weapon.
Yeah.
And rather than just being dodge that, oh my God, shields, and just sort of panicking, you just fucking stand there and you just go shield, blast, and it's so fucking good. What I really loved was, so playing it today, I had another run at the first boss. It had been a week since I'd played it, and I had to remember the controls and shit. And I got to the boss and I died, but I was like, I know the next run is the one. And it fucking was the next time I did it, I barely took a hit and stuff. I was like,
nice.
Yeah. And
when
it's I've downloaded it. I fucking get it now.
Yeah, I've got it.
Such a good feeling.
Which boss was that? Not the first one. I assume you're a lot further than me.
No. That was literally the first boss.
Okay, right.
I'm not very far in at all. I'm glad I got through that first boss before talking about it tonight, because.
Yeah, me too. I was desperate to do it. I was like, if I can't go on this pod, haven't done 5 hours. I'm like, well, I haven't really haven't done it. But now I've done that. I feel like the game's opened up, and actually opened up in many other ways. Other features and functionalities come on board then for you to fast travel to other biomes and go backwards, and other upgrade trees have opened. So I'm so glad that we've both done that.
Yeah, because the first biome is great. But after sort of 4 or 5 runs or whatever, you're a bit it just seems really good, but maybe this isn't entirely for me. And then you do the first boss, and then A, you see how different the second biome is, and B, as you say, things start opening up that you're like, oh shit, if it expands this much for every biome, then that's going to be fucking insane. There's one thing that does annoy me about it, is there are clearly things in the world that you can't use yet. It's the bad Metroidvania thing of being like, oh well, that's clearly a grappling point. But I haven't got a grappling.
There's a thing that's slightly too high to jump. I was like, am I just jumping poorly? Am I jumping from the wrong place? No, I can't quite make it. So I guess that's just because it's an ability I haven't opened yet.
Yeah, and what's annoying is so the one of those, I don't want to spoil it. The one of those that unlocks after doing the first boss is there's no particular reason why you couldn't have used them before. It's just you approach one of them and suddenly, your main character's like, oh, the computer, how do I fucking use one of these then? Like, could you not? I've seen loads of these dotted around. You could have just
Yeah, why
done
didn't you
that.
mention it
earlier.
earlier?
So I thought that was weird. I'm a bit surprised because I thought they were making a bit of noise about the story being better in this one, and I haven't really felt that yet. Maybe
Right.
there's plenty of time. Maybe it improves.
It's intriguing. I mean, I'm interested in like the premise where so like you're basically like the fourth group. Basically, just like these groups have been sent to this planet to mine it for resources. First one that went down, nothing was heard. Second one down, nothing was heard. Now you're there again to see what's happening, and obviously loads of shit's happening down there. And so the premise is interesting.
Funny because on the one hand, it's your very standard global mega corporation sending missions out into space, and it's very Wayland Yutani from Aliens or whatever. And initially you're like, yeah, I get it, but it's kind of incredible how little of a shit they give about people. It's like literally right off the bat, it's your directives from the corporation are like, this is about securing the minerals, not the people who went before you. I think
that's someone notes is like, do not talk about them or do not ask questions.
Yeah. Because you would think like, oh well, why do they just keep sending more teams down if they keep disappearing? It's because they don't fucking care.
No.
And when you discover things on the planet that are new technologies to humanity, and you fucking AI is like, great, that now belongs to the corporation. Thanks. It's everything you find is theirs to claim as far as they see it.
Is the gameplay for this entirely just combat focused, or is there anything else?
Pretty much. I mean, there's a bit of platforming, and I think that will get more complicated as time goes on. There's there's sections where you're sort of hopping between platforms, and there's lasers spinning around, so you're sort of timing your jumps and stuff. Primarily though, it's combat focused. Yeah, so far.
I will say one thing. So I absolutely love Rahul Kohli. I think he's amazing in Midnight Mass and the Fall of the House of Usher, and he's just a great follow online. And I was really excited about seeing him in this game. He's a massive gamer as well. But I just feel like it's not him, but I feel like the performances of all the people just are a bit wooden and stilted. It's never going to be as good as him being an actor in a movie or TV show, obviously. But I feel like that in many ways, I'm like, this could be really good because it's got Rahul Kohli in it, and I'm excited to see him do. But his voice acting is good, and it feels like he's definitely not phoning it in. But I think maybe it's like how the characters are animated or the lighting. It's like something there feels like a bit of a disconnect for me, which is a bit I was surprised about the most. I thought I'd be like, okay, narratively or how they portray the story, it's going to be really, really engaging. But I'm just not really feeling that.
There's no physicality to the acting in it, is there?
No.
It's just they've obviously just recorded lines, and whenever there's a cutscene where people are talking, everyone's just kind of stood still, looking at each other, and not really doing a lot.
It reminds me of kind of like talking to people in the Destiny Tower.
Yeah,
it's just kind of
absolutely
not a lot going on here really, but because I think the game looks stunning, but in that kind of hub area and the characters, they don't look that great. But the game, I think, is such a showcase for the PS5. I'm sure it looks amazing on Pro. And this is basically.
Do you think that's part of the problem? Is that the rest of the game looks so fucking good?
Possibly.
When you're then having these conversations where people are just standing there like, I don't know, I can't sleep. Why is everything's going back? And
I know. This is a bit of kind of confusing the most, but I think again, once again, this is like another reminder. This is why I have a PlayStation 5. This is why I have PlayStations, not PS1. Because for these kinds of games where we're not getting them on Xbox, and maybe that's unfair, I don't know, but the combination of the gameplay, how it looks, how it sounds, and it's just I'm absolutely loving. The more I play it, the more I see kind of the layers or levels within the combat, and it feels like it's growing, and I'm there's like the minutiae, the complexity each time is getting bigger and better, and I'm excited to see more. I'm sure it only gets bigger and better in terms of more complex kind of biomes and mechanics and enemies you're fighting. So if this is the first one I've enjoyed this much, I'm excited to see how it progresses. And fundamentally, it doesn't seem at the moment, at least, where the difficulty is so unforgiving that I kind of bounce off it like I did with Returnal, which I desperately wanted to love. It just was too much for me at the time.
Sorry, James.
I was going to say, does this make use of the DualSense much?
I don't know. Does it?
It's got kind of like the capacity trigger, so you can hold down like halfway or barely halfway, and then fall down full maybe halfway for the alt fire and full
That's
click
right,
for
yeah,
the
alt fire.
for the regular fire. So it does that really well, and vibration stuff feel good. I mean, it makes about as much use as most, I guess, maybe a little bit more than most. It feels like it's
It didn't feel like it's like adding anything like amazing like to the experience.
I mean, I like the fact that you can feel like a bit of resistance when you pull the trigger halfway down, which you don't get on like an Xbox pad. So yeah, it's using that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, James, you didn't play Returnal. Did you not play Returnal because you heard it was difficult, or
yes,
the
that's
start?
the primary reason. And it's weird this because I do play difficult games. So I played all the Souls games and stuff like that. But for some reason, I just didn't feel like it. And similarly for this as well, the other reason I haven't picked it up yet is because I've also heard this is also quite difficult, and I'm just not sure if I feel like it at the moment.
It is, but there are so many ways of mitigating that.
Yeah. Speaking of that, so there's also I haven't done these yet, but there's have you done anything about the modifiers yet?
Yes.
Sean?
Yeah, I played around with them a bit.
Do they just make game easier? Do they like make game easier, but some things are harder? Is that how it works?
So there's a bit of both. Yeah, there's like good modifiers and bad ones, and you basically there's a needle in the middle, and if you do too many easy ones, then it goes over into like no, you've made it too easy. Basically, you can't choose this setup. So it might be that you say you want to give yourself more health and you want to deal more damage to enemies. But then it'd be like, right, well, that's too much. That's, you're making it too easy. But then you might look at the ones that make it harder and say you'll see one that's like, well, you don't bring as many of your credits back if you fail the run. So like when I was like, right, I think I can do this boss now. So I know I'm not going to fail. I'm confident I'm not going to fail the run. So I'm happy to enable the money one where I don't bring as many credits back if I die, because I don't think I'm going to die. And then that brings the needle back into this sort of acceptable margin so that I can have the damage buff and the health buff, right?
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, depending on your play style or what you think you're good at or what you're trying to achieve with a certain run, there might be some of the, the harder modifiers you want to enable so that you can then, that buys you the scope to then put more
right.
of the
Yeah, because I
easy
saw
ones
that,
on.
and I didn't want to kind of like, I didn't want to change the experience because I thought I'd want to play it how the game designers have intended. But you think it's actually going to be critical to modify that each run to maximize your run,
I don't know. I guess so. I think probably you'll probably sort of settle into your sort of favorite setup, and then there'll be there'll be sickos who just like, oh, can I just make it more difficult? Right? Those people will exist.
I didn't want to change it at all because I didn't want to change the experience, but maybe it feels like it's a bit more crucial that it's not just literally a difficulty thing, it's actually to
there's interesting choices to be made there rather than just make it easier, what's interesting is, as I say, so there's needles in the middle and then there's like a margin. It's like this is how easy or easier or harder you can make it before it goes over the limit, but the dial that this is on is like way wider than the acceptable bit, if that makes sense. So I don't know if later on it that sort of widens out so that you can make it even
extremely
easier or harder.
easier.
I don't know. Shout out to the soundtrack as well. Fucking hell.
Yes.
It's so because it's by a guy called Sam Slater. So I found an album of his that it came out. I can't remember if it was earlier this year or maybe last year. And I got like 2 tracks in. I was like, this just sound like his whole thing just seems to be just making the most fucking outrageous noises you've ever heard. Like the album's like quite hard work to listen to. So I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I didn't realize he did the soundtrack for Battlefield 2042.
Oh, okay.
So he's got previous for doing video games, and the work he's done here is absolutely phenomenal. And again, just totally feeds into like just this constantly alien, hostile atmosphere. It's, really beautiful.
And like when you're going through levels, enemies about to be there when like the music ramps up, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to see what enemy I'm fighting now. So this doesn't interest you at all, James? I mean, it doesn't feel like a difficult game, or the game feels like it's ready to help you in terms of making it accessible, or So I think you'll get on with this. I mean, it's worth giving it a shot.
I think I probably will. I mean, I want to play Pragmata next as well.
I still need to finish that. Yeah, I've been distracted by so many other things lately, but I want to finish that.
But no, I'm loving it. I know Dave's been playing a lot of this as well, so we'll have more to say next week. But yeah, I think it's brilliant. I'm excited to see where it goes from here on out. Is it a long game? Do we know?
I've no
I mean,
idea.
I guess that's all relative because if I've taken 5 hours in the first biome, it could be a long one for me. But
yeah, no, I don't know.
Okay.
James, you got a couple of others we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah. So I mean, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but like Mouse PI for Hire, which Matt, you'd also played a bit of as well.
And David played a bit as well, yeah.
Yeah, I finished this last week, and I mean, I ended up feeling quite disappointed by it. Honestly, I mean, it does look amazing. It's true, but then I also found that after, I mean, it took me about just over 10 hours, I think, to get through, and by the end, I kind of got a bit fed up with the visuals, really, mostly because everything's so dark all the time, and there's not much variation really in what you're sort of like looking at, and it just started to get a bit tedious. And also, I mean, the game's story, which was the thing I was really hoping might have been something, ends up being, I found, really quite dull. I mean, by about halfway through, I was just skipping dialogue because I was like, I don't care. Like, this, like, the delivery of this is irritating and it's not particularly interesting. And the main problem I had with it, though, I think was probably the combat, which is also extremely repetitive, and not like, at no point does it feel like it's particularly like clever either. And I think one of the reasons for this is because the gun selection, there's a lot of guns in this, but only about 3 of them are actually any use, like most of the time, and the other ones are kind of just like novelties that are not really, I didn't find particularly.
So it's just handgun, shotgun, and the acid gun.
No, I mean, in the end, I just ended up using the shotgun, the acid gun, and the machine gun.
And
that was it. They're the 3.
But those are 3 of the first 4 weapons you find in the game. So the rest are all just superfluous.
And the ones you get later are largely pointless. I found that I didn't, particularly after you get the acid gun like that, especially if you're fighting bosses, it just like wipes them out really quickly. And so
even before upgrading the acid gun, it was still pretty damn powerful.
Yeah.
As soon as you get it.
And after some upgrades, it becomes ridiculous, and it's it felt rather overpowered. And it's weird because the game itself felt, I said this to you before, but it felt a lot like Duke Nukem 3D to me. Like, in terms of like, and I'm not talking about in terms of like strippers and all that kind of stuff, but in terms of just like the level design.
There's very few mouse strippers in this game, isn't there?
There's quite a few.
Oh, is there?
There is a bit later on.
You know how to find them.
But no, it's just in terms of like the level design, but then also like just like sort of monster closet, sort of like kind of like designed to it as well. With, because in Duke Nukem 3D, one of the things that would happen is that enemies would like teleport in and stuff like that, and this kind of happens with that as well, because like doors open and they just keep coming and coming and coming, and there's not really a huge amount of variety in like the enemy design either, and there's no strategy at all in fighting them. It's basically just mowing them down, and I get that is part, a lot of people really enjoy those sorts of games, and so do I, but the thing that I felt was missing here is I didn't get any kind of like combat rush from this. Like, like when you play, like when I played like Doom the Dark Ages, I got like a feeling of like, a bit of a rush when you're doing that, because you feel like you're dodging around, you're having to like think like on your feet, to be able to take on the amount of enemies you're fighting. I never felt like that with this. I just felt like I was just mowing stuff down.
I mean, I felt the combat was rubbish anyway, and that's basically how the guns felt. But yeah, also enemies are just like, they pop out, you shoot them. There's no strategy, there's no like, it's just nothing. I mean, I know people have really enjoyed this game, but for me, if the guns and or combat in general just wasn't a thing, it really put me off.
And also, I mean, it's probably because I'm stupid, but I found various aspects of the game, like with the level design, I found very irritating sometimes. Like, it was not, to me, it didn't feel entirely clear what I was supposed to be doing. Like, that happened quite a lot, and I got going around in circles like many times. So I don't know. I don't know. I was disappointed with it. It's because I thought it was going to be something more than it was, but apparently it's done very well. I saw
that. Yeah, I saw that was at 730,000 copies or something. I think they've reinvested it all back into studio. So
fair dues.
So it's. I mean, as I said, I'm sure other people probably love this. I just didn't. I didn't find.
I'm glad I played it. I'm glad I got to kind of see it in action, but just actually playing it wasn't as good.
That's the thing. It looks brilliant. Like, especially like when you're at the start, and just actually playing it, not so much fun. The other thing I played this week, I haven't played a lot of this because I only got it last night. It's inKONBINI one store, many stories.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this was a game. This was shown on like the Nintendo Direct, like the Nindies stuff and all that kind of thing. And it's a slice. It's one of those. It's like a slice of life game, and you run a Japanese convenience store in a small town for a week. And the whole point of the game is you're supposed to the pitch is you're supposed to like take the time to look at the things around you and enjoy the smaller things in life. That's basically what it is.
Boring.
So that's the thing. The whole game is based around like restocking the store, helping customers, and then when you like help the customers, this leads to like conversations where they begin to open up about their lives, and you have some conversation. You can like choose how you're going to respond to that, and how that.
This is like a whole genre, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
especially on PC, there's fucking tons of games where it's like you run a shop, and yeah, they seem to do all right. So.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And this is completely that. And it's just like you just make decisions like when you talk to people about how you're going to help them or not. And it's just very chill. And there like the game it has objectives. Like there are things you're supposed to do. But if you don't do them, it doesn't really seem to matter that much. It's just like people maybe complain a bit, but it doesn't really matter that much. And I'm enjoying it mostly just because of the atmosphere. Like the game starts off with something which I always love, which is like it's like pouring with rain, and you're like in this like little shop, and you can just like like in this convenience shop, you can just hear like the rain like pounding on the roof and everything, and like look out, and it's like dark outside, and it's just the atmosphere is fantastic. Like it's got really really good atmosphere because I'm a big fan of rain. I love it. It's just I love the
And I
sounds.
suppose it sort of adds to the thing. Like a convenience store is like a little point of sanctuary in the way
Yes.
that like a supermarket would not be, right?
Yeah.
Like it's people just nipping in for stuff, and it's No, I can see that.
And so like the opening of that really nails that like really well because it is like it's like it's like you got your like you said like it's your sanctuary and it's like and for other people as well that are coming to visit and I like the concept of this idea of like the small details and how like just slowing down a bit and how like you can get moments of happiness just from like these little things of just like like turning the turning a can of tuna around so it's the right way around so it all looks nice and all that kind of stuff.
It's called facing up, James.
Yeah, I know. I used to do it.
Like I said, did you work in retail?
I used to do it. I used to work in the co-op. We used to do facing up every night, and then when we were doing the stock take, facing down, you had to do, which always looked terrible. It's But no, it's. I mean, as Phil said, it's like Shenmue vibes, and yeah, there's definitely has that as well. And there seems to be quite a few nods as well to Shenmue, I think, with like some of the names of like the colas and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like Jet Cola and all this kind of stuff. It feels like there's no tie-in, obviously, but it just feels like there's a bit of a nod to that. But I'm looking forward to seeing how it pans out. I don't think it's particularly long. It's each kind of like each day is like an episode,
Right.
in the thing, and because it's 7 days, I'm assuming 7 episodes. So yeah, I'm gonna see how it goes. But yeah, it's just nice. I like it.
Yeah, it does look a nice chill game actually. But there's so much to play at the moment. But it does look good.
That's the thing. It's no, I just thought it looked good, so I thought I'd give it a go before I go back to Pragmata. But yeah,
Cool. One more from me. I played a bit of Far Far West this week. I should acknowledge we were sent
Wicca
codes
Wicca
for
Wah
this.
Wah.
We know you are. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is so this is out on Steam at the moment, an early access. So this completely passed me by. Apparently, this did really fucking well in the last Steam Next Fest. Apparently, it had like fucking 500,000 players or something. So yeah, that was out in early access. So it's a co-op shooter. It's a mashup of a few things. It's a bit Helldivers. It's a bit SteamWorld in that it's robots shooting skeletons and stuff. And it's like, and visually, it's like a bit Sea of Thieves as well. But structurally, it's I think it's probably more Helldivers than anything else. So basically, you and up to 3 other people, are deployed onto a map, which I think are randomly generated or semi-random. And basically, it'll be like, right, here's where you're dropping in, here's your main objective, here's the boss, and here's your escape point. But then also dotted around the map, there'll be other question marks, right? So in each sort of session, you could just mainline it. You could do the objective, do the boss, and then get out. But then obviously, if you're feeling bold, you find other things to do, get more rewards and stuff. We've had one. I played a bit of it by myself, and then I played a bit with a couple of my friends, and yeah, really fucking enjoyed it. It was it's. I feel like the rate at which you unlock new things seems quite slow. I don't know. Maybe that's something they're looking to change. As I say, it's an early access. But yeah, the moment to moment, like just going around doing objectives and when you get to like the main objective, so it'll be something like launch a rocket or fire a laser or get this like a gas pump working or whatever, and then basically. So you'll reach the area where this thing is due to happen, and it'll ask you to sort of interact with a few things, whether it's like turning the valve on a pipe or whatever, or pressing some buttons, and then that will then start a process where it's like counting down for 2 minutes, and then basically enemies start coming at you, and then after a couple of after 10 seconds, be like, oh, the pressure's wrong on the gas valve, go and fucking turn this handle again. So you're constantly managing. Like fighting the enemies, but then also you've got these like mini objectives. Usually it's just hitting a button or whatever, but it's enough that you like it's just that really cool feeling of just being on the edge of what you can handle at any given time, or like depending on where like which switch needs hitting or whatever, it'll be like, right, you're nearest to that, you do that, I'll shoot these guys, and then sort of constantly communicating and sort of updating each other on what's going on. Yeah, really fucking enjoyable. And the boss fights similar. They're not just a case of like, oh, it's a bullet sponge. Like there's specific ways you got to deal with them. Certain things you got to shoot, and then they have different phases and stuff. And then and I was saying, if you're feeling bold, there's like extra objectives on the map. So you're sort of constantly. It's like if one of you's really struggling, I say that. It's easy enough to like heal up and then get more ammo and stuff, but you are constantly on the lookout for more items as you go in. So if you're kind of going from one objective to another, and there's a bonus thing nearby, but you're like, no, I'm actually quite low on health or ammo or whatever. And like, no, let's just go to the next thing, and then
it's not worth the risk.
We're at, and
This is coming to consoles, just PC.
I don't know.
Now.
It's I don't think they've mentioned consoles yet, but it's already doing really well. Like, as I say, we were sent code for it, but then as soon as I looked on Steam, it's like already like overwhelmingly positive on user reviews. So yeah, I was more than happy to check it out. So as is often the way with me in early access stuff, like I've had like a really good time with it, and now I'm kind of like, cool, see you when the full version's out. So it probably won't come up again for a bit, but yeah, really enjoyed what we played of it.
Yeah, it just says here no confirmation about consoles really.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I mean, sure, if it's been this popular on PC.
Yeah, if it's doing as
Sure
well as
it
it is, then I would assume, because I mean, and I've been playing it with a controller and it's been fine. It'd be a good one for the four of us.
Yes, that's good.
Consoles.
I think I love the way it looks. It is, it's kind of cartoony, but like the explosions and stuff look awesome. Like the use of lighting.
Yeah,
it's a nice looking game.
Nice. I think that's it for what we've been playing, isn't it?
It is.
Shall I read out some questions?
Let's do it.
Ben/Sai says, Star Fox for the Switch 2 has, at the time of writing, just been announced, and it made me think. 4 members of Star Fox, 4 members of TCGS, so who is who? This question also has some minor relevance, as the game seems to have a VTuber-like digital face map, so when you do potentially do a stream, this will have to have been decided. That's a good point. We can't all be Fox McCloud.
Who are... I mean, do we just say... I mean, David is Fox McCloud.
David's Fox McCloud. I think Matt is... the other ones? I think Matt is Falco Lombardi.
Why?
Because he's the H pilot.
No, I don't. Okay, I don't know what they're about. Okay,
he's not an arsehole. He's aware of how skilled he is.
It says here, according to Google, a skilled but arrogant pilot and Fox's best friend. Okay, it works.
Well, arrogant. The other two are the rabbit and the toad. So, personally, I would take Falco if I was you, Matt.
Yeah, so would I.
Peppy Hare's a veteran pilot. So is that James?
I think Peppy's the eldest. I think that's probably has to be James, and that leaves me with Slippy Toad.
That's the inventor mechanic.
That's fine, yeah. I just didn't want to be Slippy, honestly. Rubbish. He gets in trouble all the time.
But he's got a great team of pals that help him out, and that's the main thing. Well, that was an easy one.
Yeah, but I mean, the idea of us doing Star Fox stream, yes, I think great. And then I remember how shit the Switch Online is, but it
Yeah.
would also be good if we all did the kind of VTuber type thing, and people could see it in 1 frame a second. But
Yeah.
we say this now, we'll go and try, we'll remember how shit it is. We then say we're never going to do it ever again. So
Yeah.
we'll see where we are at some point.
The next question comes from Harry Olus.
Oh,
Very good.
yeah.
I had a ticket for Ian Lee's Imposter Syndrome, but sadly couldn't attend because on the night I started coming down with some sort of flu. It's been almost 2 weeks and I'm still pretty rough. It's been miserable. This weekend I was supposed to be visiting the in-laws, but obviously I didn't go, and the better half went without me. 2 days earlier, my shiny new copy of Saros slid through the letterbox, and I realised with some glee that I was going to be home alone for the weekend with nothing to do except sup lemsips and smash my most anticipated game of the year. My question is, has there ever been a time where you've been happy to be sick? And did you have to pretend not to be pleased about it? Much love. Keep up the wonderful podcasting.
I remember when Donkey Kong 94 came out, and I played that when I was off sick, and it was the best. Absolutely great time with that. It was very good.
See, I don't think because if I've got like proper flu, I struggle to play stuff. Fucking Saros, when you've got the flu, that must have been hard work because it's such an intense game. Feels like a fever dream already. Never mind when you've actually got a fever. But yeah,
if I'm properly ill, I can't do anything. Like if I'm ill, I rarely get ill, but if I do get ill, I just sleep the whole time. I've always been jealous of people who are like, oh yeah, I'm ill, I've got a bit of a cold, but I'm off work and I can play a game, or I can't even watch a movie. I'm just like, no, I'm sleeping.
I usually have to put on like a comedy show that I've already seen. Like I Think You Should Leave or something, right? I've already seen like 10 times over, and then I'll just sort of drift in and out of consciousness.
That's the best, though, isn't it? I love that. Like putting something on and then just like falling asleep, waking up, falling asleep. I like that. It's great. Yeah,
it's good stuff.
That sounds good. So I can't really think of anything like this because I'm usually sleepy.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds nice though. Sounds nice.
It does. I mean, probably the closest I've got, and I wasn't happy to be sick, but when I busted my back/shoulder/arm last year, and basically, so it was when I was like well into Death Stranding 2. So if I had to actually do anything, it was misery. But I could just find one position on the sofa where it didn't hurt and play Death Stranding 2. And I was like, this is pretty great, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, when I broke my wrist, I'm like, brilliant. I'm just going to stay at home. And I was I can't actually do anything because I've got one hand.
Yeah, shit. Should have got the Wii out and just do waggle stuff.
Just bowled with my right hand.
Hope you're feeling better, Harry. That sounds like a potential COVID scenario, right? If it's been really bad flu for 2 weeks. Or hantavirus. Patient 0. This was sent in a week ago. Yeah. So
I'll tell you what, lads. I am excited. I'm excited for hantavirus. Hang on.
The next message comes from Poo in a Tin. He says, thinking back to you talking about those cheap kart races, if the TCGS community were to make a TCGS cheap game for you, what generic cheap game type would you like? 2D platformer, shoot 'em up, point-and-click adventure, kart racer, Tetris clone, etc.
I mean, I'd ideally like a point-and-click adventure because that would be brilliant.
That would be good.
That would be very funny, yeah.
Especially something with multiple choices. I think that'd be really good.
And would it be like Day of the Tentacle, where you sort of choose different? You have to play as different characters to do different bits.
Yes, I think that's different skills. For different needs. Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Cider, lager.
I wonder if could you get away with a? Actually, no, I was going to say, could you get away with a kart race with only 4 characters? But I guess you could put like the regular guests in as well, right?
Yeah.
That would be good too. I mean, on the point and click thing, I love to see a detective game designed by the community.
Yeah, that'd be good stuff.
Or let's just see what they do if we want to make a football game. I mean, I'd like to see, a kind of built from the ground up, community-driven football game. That would be quite something, wouldn't it?
What would my role in the football game be, Matthew?
Manager.
Okay.
VAR. Yes.
Right, the final question comes from Doomican. He says, brilliant episode, lads, as per usual, and a worthy winner in my humble opinion. As soon as you announced the episode, my mind instantly went to the 360. However, I have loved many more consoles over the years. And Dave, the N64, I'm with you, brother. Anyway, is there any reason you didn't each offer up a wild card pick like in the Game of the Year show? This would have been a great category for Matt's Zelda watch. Dave could have offered up his beloved barcode battler. Sean, the smartphone perhaps? Not sure about James, maybe the TV itself and its teletext feature where he could play Bamboozle or the Sky Digibox with East End arrows and Beehive
I
Bedlam.
love Bamboozle.
Anyway, fantastic show. Here's to the next 500. We sort of talked about it briefly. I think we decided it wouldn't really add much.
Yeah, it was just be like an extra layer of complexity that we kind of wanted it to be a little bit simpler because it's consoles and not games. But
yeah,
and we didn't want to be exactly the same format. It's like I think it's happy to have a slight change. I mean, maybe we could have done. I also didn't do all the socials, did the public, the vote, all that kind of stuff. We just thought let's just have it kind of encapsulated in one episode, really. But
yeah,
I mean, was it nearly over 4 hours or something?
It's just under 4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's well over 4 hours recording, but the actual episode was just under 4.
Yeah.
I imagine that plus also an argument about what to kick out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have dragged things out. I don't think I would have chosen the smartphone. I think if I was allowed a wild card pick, it would have either been the Wii U or the Meta Quest 2.
Yeah.
See, I really wanted to get an Atari card. I would have tried to have got like the Jaguar or the Lynx or something in, just because they're such weird.
Yeah, Jaguar
consoles.
seems like prime Farley wildcard fodder.
That or the 3DO, Although I never owned either of those, but I don't think that mattered.
I mean, I love my barcode battler, so that generally would have probably been that was on my
Did you
kind
actually?
of maybe list. Yeah,
I always assumed that was a running gag. Did you actually enjoy?
No,
having
I mean,
one?
I think David also. Yeah, I love mine because anyway, I was excited about scanning those barcodes and what was I going to get. Yeah, I was a big fan.
What I would have chosen. I might have mentioned this before. I can never remember what it's called. I've seen it mentioned a few times. I'm like, oh shit, that was the one I had, and it was fucking dog shit. It was it was supposed to be not VR, but it was like a headset that you wore, and it had like one eyepiece, and it was just this bit of plastic that went over your eye, and it had like a tiny LCD screen that was then reflected onto the glass. And I had a Virtua Cop game for it. It was fucking awful, and it was like making me sick whenever I used it. So my mum took it back to Argos because it was like making me ill. It was so bad, and yeah, so that'd be a fun choice. Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah, I mean, if we could do our list again, like what would you like, James? I guess you would have gone Mega Drive over Master System if we could do your list again.
Yeah, definitely. I'd have put the Mega Drive in there. Yeah,
what have you done, Sean?
I was pretty happy with mine. I think maybe people felt that the PSP was a bit of a left field choice. But then I don't know what I would have replaced it with. Like, I know we had a few people saying like, "Oh, why did no one nominate the PS4?" Or
yeah,
whatever.
PS4 was a big one. I probably should have gone with, but
then the PS4 is brilliant, obviously. But I think compared to the stuff we were talking about, like really sort of foundational shifts in the way things
it
are
doesn't
being
have
done.
that as much, does it?
Yeah, it was PS4 is like it's just a really fucking good refinement, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why it didn't stand out to us as much. And I guess we sort of felt like that episode was an excuse for us to talk about old shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So
PS4 felt like it was like you said, like it was a refinement of like the 360 or whatever, like in terms of whereas Xbox One kind of fumbled it, whereas PS4 didn't. I don't think. They got it right.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm quite happy with how that all turned out.
Yeah, I think the Gotti shows go for a lot less stressful this time.
Yeah,
really?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. So okay, we'll talk about the games we've been playing this year. It's like a lot easier than like, what fucking console did I even own? But yeah, Bamboozle. Was it Bamboozler?
It was Bamboozle.
It was
that's
Bamboozle.
Yeah.
I used to play that.
Teletext.
Yeah. So good.
I wonder if there's because I know that there are like teletext archives, but I assume you can't have like a playable Bamboozle.
That's the kind of thing that I bet someone has done.
Yeah.
Bet someone's done.
But then if it all relies on pop culture knowledge from like 1992, then it's going to be...
Yeah, that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Oh, just nick it for the
I used
quiz
to,
at the live show.
when I used to hang out with my friend Simon, we used to, like, his mum would make us cheese and ham toasties, and then while that was happening in the holidays or whenever it was, we were playing Bamboozle on his TV in the kitchen. What great times. I never had Sky when I was younger, so I heard about Beehive Bedlam, didn't play it, wasn't me.
Sean, you'll be pleased to know there is a web version of it.
Oh my god.
Which is it looks exactly the same as well. It's Play Bamboozle Quiz Digitext, the online teletext simulator,
Fucking hell.
yeah, you can
Amazing.
You can play it
That's
there.
a stream.
Yeah, that genuinely might be a stream.
That's a new inning done. That's a live show ticked.
Do you know what I remembered? When I read this question earlier, I had a flashback to being at a friend's house, and there was a teletext page that was like it was like an agony aunt thing, thing. Where it was like teenagers sending in questions, and it was very much like people could message in about like sexual health stuff or relationships or whatever. Surprisingly forward thinking. Was it Ask Nick? Yeah, maybe it was Ask Nick. Thank you, Phil Wolf.
God.
And I remember we read one that was. It must have been someone having it like winding them up, because someone wrote in, and this is fucking gross. So feel free to skip forwards 30 seconds. Someone wrote in saying that their semen had like little orange cubes in it. And they're like, is there something wrong? And obviously the reply was like, probably speak to a doctor. Like, that doesn't sound right.
Little orange cubes.
Yeah, like I think they said they were like little gelatinous orange cubes. So there you go.
So I was just writing down little orange cubes in the episode title. That is horrendous. And I'm glad you... Actually, I'm not glad you said that at all. Now I won't be able to sleep tonight thinking about that.
Maybe we'll bleep that out in the edit. I don't know.
No, I think when the episode's called Little Orange Cubes.
That's true, but yeah, people need the context. So yeah.
Oh, Christ. Okay,
On
well, I hope that person is alive and well, or they lived a happy life.
Well, I'd say I'm fairly confident they were making it up. At no point in my life have I, stumbled upon, like an actual condition where that happens.
Someone on Reddit has posted about that very thing. I'm not going to Google it again, but someone would have had it, and just see a doctor is basically if you're suffering from that.
To the doc.
Yeah.
That's it for questions. Do you want to do the socials, Matt?
Yes, we've got some streams this week. We're back streaming. Play by the Bell is now moving to a new slot Wednesday night, Wednesday at 9. And this week, Sean is playing Amber Spire.
Yeah.
It's Amber Spire.
Chilled and slightly spooky town. I think it's slightly spooky. Town building sim, because people seem to enjoy watching those.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to it.
Nice. That's Wednesday at 9, Play by the Bell, Amber Spire. And Friday at 9, James and I are back to play Reanimal. It's been about 1,000 years, but we will be back. I remember us enjoying it at the end, the end of the last one. So yeah, Friday at 9, James and I will be playing Reanimal. They're both on twitch.tv/TCGSco. You can subscribe for free. You've got an Amazon account, Amazon Prime account, connect your account with a Twitch account, and you get something called Twitch Prime Gaming, or Twitch, no, it's just called Prime Gaming now. Anyway, connect your accounts, you get a free sub, go to our channel, maybe on Wednesday when Sean's streaming, or on Friday when we're streaming, or anytime you want, and give us your free Prime sub. If you miss the streams live, you can watch them on YouTube. Just search for TCGS on YouTube, or go to youtube.com/@TCGS. And you can find, videos of the pod you're listening to or maybe watching right now, and our streams and all the other videos we've done in the 10 years of TCGS, for goodness sake. And the website is tcgs.co, where you can have there's links to our Discord community, which is amazing every day. I love being in there. Our store, if you want to get some James Farley or other TCGS merch. You can't get TCGS live tickets anymore because they're sold out. But it's all over tcgs.co. Go over there. Strava Club's there, which is the main reason to go, really, if you're into that kind of shit. And yeah, tcgs.co to find out what we're doing. And Patreon's on there as well. There you go.
Sick. Cheers, everyone. I'll catch you next week. I think I'll catch you next week.
Oh.
It's Tuesday next week is my wife's birthday. So if by the weekend it feels like the prep for it isn't going very well.
Okay.
No, it's fine. I think it's all in hand. I think we're going to be all right. So yeah, sorry. See you next week. Thanks for letting us be natural, etc. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.